welcome to Weekend News with David Patrick Kamara and Zoe Hamilton.
Coming up in this edition, a two-day training on the role of the security sector in the prevention and management of global health crisis ends at the Bintumani Hotel in Freetown.
Senior Vice President, Worldwide Manufacturing and New Business Development pays courtesy call on President Anesbai Koroma.
And a Sierra Leonean living in the United States, Arun Rashidin, donates a consignment of assaulted textbooks to the Mass Communication Department of the Furabe College.
All these stories, including business and sport, are lined up in this edition of Weekend News. Stay with us.
A two-day training on the role of security sector in the prevention and management of global health crisis has ended at the Bintumani Hotel in Freetown. Organized by the Center for Governance and Security Policy Initiative, the discussion centered on lessons learned from the Ebola outbreak in West Africa. Participants were drawn from health and security sectors of Sierra Leone, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, Senegal, and Ivory Coast. Nasiruddin Koroma covered the session and filed in this report.
The security sector is said to have played a pivotal role in the response to Ebola in West Africa sub-region. What are the lessons learned and what should be done to enhance better preparedness for future health crises is the main thrust of the regional workshop organized by the Justice Sector and Associate Center for Governance and Security Policy Initiatives, together with the Geneva Center for the Democratic Control of Armed Forces. The outbreak of the Ebola in 2014 in West Africa, particularly in Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Liberia, resulted in more than 28,000 cases and over 11,000 deaths. The workshop, according to organizers, is necessitated by the initiative to facilitate studies to probe into what occurred, weaknesses uncovered in the national, regional, and global response processes to the Ebola. It also explores what should be done to strengthen responses and enhance resilience to such health crises in future. The Minister of Health and Sanitation, Dr. Abubakar Fofana, informs that researches in the area of health crises are very important. The Health Minister says that Sierra Leone government is appreciative of the initiative, which is to facilitate better preparedness to mitigate future epidemics through collaborative and coordinated efforts between the health and security sectors. One of the Mano River Union deputies to the Secretary General in Sierra Leone, Linda Koroma, explains that in line with the 15th Protocol on Peace, Security and Defense, they have established 22 joint border security and confidence building units across the sub-region monitoring cross-border movements. She adds that it will also take into account prevention and control of communicable diseases like Ebola. In addition, Linda Koroma has this to say on their post-Ebola recovery programs.
As far as that program is concerned, we are far advanced and very soon it will be implemented. This is a program that will be implemented by the ministries of gender in the 3 affected countries. It's a social fund. I have no doubt in the governments of the 3 affected countries, and I want to believe when we get to that bridge, we will cross it. But for now, I think everything is going on as planned, and very soon it will be implemented.
Executive Director J&S Associate Center for Governance and Security Policy Initiative, Jonathan Sandin, says the role of security services has not been systematically addressed. The involvement of the security sector in the health crisis and emergency responses, he says, is becoming more frequent and seen as necessity. The 2-day regional workshop is therefore mainly centered on the role of security services in the 2014 Ebola response in West Africa and build core competencies to prepare for and respond to future health crises.
Our immediate thing is to wrap up the recommendations that emerge from here and then see how we can translate those recommendations into policy briefs, into standard operational procedures, and as well as training and capacity model, what we will call, generalists put it, we now need to look at the donors and potential donors to see how we can design a sub-regional project. And I think if we, global health security at this stage, is how do we bring the whole of government approach between the security forces and the public health institution.
The Ebola crisis has been a wake-up call to the health crisis more seriously, demanding investment efforts to prepare and collaborate to enhance and guarantee better preparedness against future Ebola crises.
The Deeper Life Bible Church has ended a 5-day National Success Academy for Youths Conference. The purpose of the conference is to prepare youth academically and educate them on what they can do to engage in profitable activities after school. Francis Danema filing this report.
Deeper Life Bible Church organized a National Success Academy for youths during school vacation, with the aim of diverting the attention of secondary school pupils from unhealthy practices. National Youth Coordinator, Deeper Life Bible Church, Pastor Robert Walter Williams, said the conference has transformed several young people who were never serious about their education. He pointed out that the conference is taking place in different districts across the country. Freetown Central District Coordinator Pastor Kai Maka said the conference is to train young people to fear God and be good entrepreneurs. He pointed out that the church wants to see all youths in the country become God-fearing. The National Overseer Deeper Life Bible Church, Daisy Okielu, said if the youth can attend the conference, they will understand that violence is not profitable.
Of course, it is the idle hand that, as people say, that the devil finds work for. But when somebody is profitably engaged, there will be less violence, there will be less youth running riots and so on. We are looking forward to really bringing about change as we inculcate the fear of God into the youths.
These youths explained to SLBC what they have learned since the conference began.
Today's insight was so wonderful. They taught us how to be good entrepreneurs. Our academics, no, really, it was so inspirational. Everything is good, everything is fine, everything is perfect. Please, youths out there, I'm inviting you. This program is wonderful. It's not only about Jesus, it is all about academics, our future life.
The message that we had today about entrepreneurship has really made me to be happy, because there are some people in the world, right outside the world, they have been looking for jobs there, but they are unable to get jobs. But thanks to entrepreneurship, now some people can be able to be working and again doing their little business, or even people who do not have any job can do their business.
Topics to be taught are getting the best during classes, secrets of starting well in secondary school, developing the reading culture, developing and sustain the passion for entrepreneurship.
The Stewards Union of the National Pentecostal Church has ended a 10th annual Thanksgiving service today at 4th Street, Freetown. The theme of the Thanksgiving was, "For Christ's sake I will endure to the end." The aim of the Thanksgiving service is to encourage other members to join the Stewards Union and to revive existing members to continue working in the Lord's vineyard. We bring you highlights of the event.
Body spirit. And after when you kill the body, you set your body here for that. That is all about life. Why we not go believe this Jesus? Hallelujah. So be good. Because you are mature. Hallelujah. The pikin wey no mature, na im dey comot planet wey time not for them mama will be. But you mama wey mature, the pikin no dey expect you for Obia, then you can knock the way you will be. So if you reach a point, nobody no go there for open the door. Because the pikin wey no mature dey go, you sef when they think say you mature na all dey go. Who that go left na you? Maturity.
Sierra Leonean living in the United States, Arun Rashid Din, and of class of 2008 Mass Communications Department, have donated a consignment of assorted textbooks to the department at Farabi College. The textbooks cater for both undergraduate and postgraduate courses. We bring you highlights of the ceremony.
It's going to help us to increase our reading culture, because students are required to read materials, reference materials in short, but the difficulty had been how to access them, especially when we talk about relevant and contemporary ones. So I think this is going to enhance that need, and in that direction we'll be giving them reference work, assignment, essays, research and so forth, project writing, and then they will utilize these books as what they could use as reference points.
Are we going to see this kind of gesture being directed to the Mass Communications Department in future, or this is just a one good thing?
Well, I mean, you can witness and realize that this is motivational, and we are expecting more motivation to go ahead. In fact, in addition to this, the class of 2008 also donated 5 boxes of books to the department after this program, as part of their own commitment to what they have gained from the department. So I think all students and then well-wishers who have witnessed this might think about doing the same for the department. We have to make sure that there is reading culture in the university, and the way to enhance literacy, this is one of the steps. So I believe we can sustain this, and then we are also expecting the students to make good use of it, and then ensure that it becomes sustainable.
Your viewers have seen the pile of books and cartoons. Can you tell us what are some of the important learning materials you have in the consignment?
The books here go beyond the need of mass communication. They are also going to serve other departments like law, economics, accounting, philosophy, theology, as well as some books meant for kids or children. So, but then we still have some there for journalism, media and communication studies.
We have 2 sets of donations. We have one from Mr. Rashid, who lives in the United States, and we have one from class of 28. These donations are very important, especially it entails books. So
the Dole Packed Food Senior Vice President, Worldwide Manufacturing and New Business Development, Danko Stambuk, has paid a courtesy call on President Ernest Bai Koroma at State House. Razia Bash Kamara sends us this report.
Introducing the team, the chairman, Sierra Leone Import and Export Promotion Agency, Oluniyi Robin Coker, said he met with Mr. Stambuk and associates in Washington last year and he expressed interest in coming to Sierra Leone and doing a food processing and canning facility with an open market for export. Mr. Robin Coker told the president that the team has been working fervently with the Ministries of Agriculture, Forestry and Food Security and Trade and Industry on a memorandum of understanding has already been signed. He informed the president that the team is here to finalize arrangements for the implementation of the project. Dole Packaged Foods Senior Vice President Worldwide Manufacturing and New Business Development, Danko Stambok, expressed delight to meet with President Nkrumah for a second time and registered his sympathy for the Ebola epidemic the country suffered. He maintained that the last time he was in Sierra Leone, the epidemic just started and that it was not going to last long, which unfortunately did not happen. Mr. Stambok pointed out that they have developed a nursery with Sierra Rutal, who they believed they should help as the development is for the interest of the country. The Dole Packaged Foods Senior Vice President maintained that they also organized and developed designs with a computer, and they developed nurseries in Costa Rica, Honduras, and Thailand to be able to bring enough seedlings to Sierra Leone to start the project. He added that they also did the environmental impact assessment that is almost completed, and they have identified the land where they could put one of the sites and then see if any other place exists.
So once we form our plantation, we also are intending to train your people to do grower program so that we can make them self-sustainable. I am not going to tell you that this is very easy. It's very difficult, and I told this to every minister that we met, and I told this to your people yesterday, that we are here in good faith, but that we need their support, government support, which we have, and I told them the government care about them. I sense it that from every minister that we discussed it. I sense it from you when I was here last time with you, I think a year and a half, almost 2 years. And I tell, but you need to be happy that we are here, that we can work together.
Welcoming the senior vice president to the country, President Nkrumah said he is pleased that they have come to the point of almost starting the implementation of the great agricultural project that they are looking forward to as a government and country. The president observed that he made his position very clear to them when they met to provide them with all it takes to ensure that the project succeeds. He maintained that as a government they have that view because they need to ensure that they build up the agricultural sector. The president pointed out that what has recently happened has further reinforced the fact that government really has to diversify the economy and lay emphasis on the opening of the agricultural sector, which is exactly what Dole Packaged Foods is coming to do in the country. He noted that as a president, he is happy with the approach and admitted that the country's climatic conditions are favorable, but they will also need to make some adaptations. President Nkrumah pointed out that he is sure with time they will as a company be able to adapt with even the sunny conditions, adding that it is again important that they keep a very amicable relationship with the communities.
We met before Ebola, and our thinking then was to diversify the economy. And what has recently happened has further, reinforced that fact that we have to diversify the economy. We have to pay a lot of emphasis in opening up the agricultural sector, and this is exactly what you are coming in to do. I am again happy with your approach. Yes, our climatic conditions are favorable, but you also have to maybe make some adaptations here and there based on, but I'm sure with time you'll be able to adapt, and even our soil conditions. Now it is again important that we keep a very amicable relationship with the communities. because at the end of the day, they are going to be the major players. And I hope that we will learn from their experiences.
Senior Vice President, Sierra Tropical Parent Company, Dole, a multilateral company, Danko Stanbok, as assured residents of Lumbu Chiefdom, Bo District, that the long-awaited multi-million-dollar agricultural project will soon commence. The investor gave the assurance during a landowner consultative meeting held at Sumbuya. Sheku Sumela reports.
The senior president of Sahel Tropical Company, Danko Stanbok, said they are ready to implement the agricultural project. He informed the gathering comprising landowners, traditional leaders, residents, women, youths, representatives of the Sierra Leone Investment and Export Promotion Agency, SDIPA, and other important personalities that they should have started operation long ago, but the outbreak of Ebola delayed the process. He informed that after several researches and investigations, Lugu was earmarked for viability of pineapple and other fruits that they intend to plant and process. He disclosed that they are conducting nursing in some countries for the implementation of the Lugu project. Mr. Stanbok said they are going to send the best experts here to start this project and also provide capacity building for locals. He said the company started operation over 50 years ago in the Philippines when many people were skeptical.
It's very important to understand why we want to be here. You have land, you have lots of people that want to work, you have local excellent government, you have very proactive chief that want to do something good for his people, you have very proactive government in Freeport that give us several options and ask us, this will be the best place for you to come. Your government is care about you, and they would like to see prosperity here in your province.
In his address, Paramount Chief of Sumbuya Chiefdom, Alhaji Mohammed Nalu V, extended appreciation to the investors. He thanked SDIPA and the government for taking such a flagship and enviable project to their doorsteps. This project is a fantastic development and will improve the lives of thousands of residents, he noted, adding that since the 1930s, when they started mining, much has not been achieved. Victor Bangura of SDIPA said in the last few years, they have always visited Sumbuya to explain the cause of the Sahara Tropical investment. Mr. Bangura noted that the project was meant for Lugu and the implementation will start very soon. Honorable Member of Parliament for Constituency 73, Honorable Helen Kuyembe, said her constituents are very eager for the project. She advised the youth to prepare for agricultural work while admonishing them to deviate from artisanal diamond mining. She promised that of the interests of women, youths, and other residents will be protected in terms of employment. The team also held discussions with the resident Minister South, Mutar Conte, who also appreciated the project, particularly so when it is going to be implemented in his region, the South. The Chief Executive Officer of SDIPA, Raymond Beki, also held discussions with resident Minister South, Mutar Conte.
The phase 2 of it is also what His Excellency the President has been pushing, which is processing, value addition, so that we can get the premium. And in doing that, they are even planning a phase 2 of setting up a cannery, which Mr. Nyanibo has already told you about. They're setting up a cannery, and in that cannery, they're looking at also employing.
Houses have been constructed on a drainage facility within the Levuma and Porto communities in the west end of Freetown. The construction of houses is affecting the free passage of water, thus give rise to flooding when it rains. However, Deputy Minister of Works, Housing and Infrastructure, Madam Khadija Tusisei, has condemned the act during a cleaning exercise undertaken by the Levuma Network for Peace and Development in collaboration with EPA. Daphne Kimama Colley reports.
According to the Deputy Minister of Works, Housing and Infrastructure, Madam Khadija Tusise, most of the people who construct houses along the beaches do not have building permits from the Ministry of Works, Housing and Infrastructure.
We are very, very much disappointed in the way and manner in which people are doing things in this country. There is an extra, a stop work and which is still continuing to work. So we will work together with the Ministry of Lands, EPA, so that we stop all this nonsense coming on. When they tell people to stop, they have to stop. I don't know where all this is coming from. This is all lawlessness. We cannot continue like that in this country. This is not politics. We cannot continue like this in this country. If they pass it, I told them if they continue to work, anybody worker that they meet there, they have to take him to the police. He has to be in police custody.
Member of Parliament, Constituency 112, Shekuba Amani Sano, said they have held several meetings with owners of these unfinished structures and residents along the beach area to warn them on the dangers of living in these communities.
On we own part in the sense for educating that this they pose enough threat to owners of your life. But that thing they possible for relocating, and I can say other things will involve other people in back for county side. The more reason we try to set up a community-based organization here so forth. So seeing what they happen, so you know for make it say you say we are in touch with the community, and the community said they take responsibility of what they happen at the contract and their community. So I think it got to start at that level. Let them understand the dangers for which they pose. You don't understand. If you don't get them educated on the danger which they pose, when we reach them faster than they now, I think it could be not much tension over there because they're already educated on waiting to happen.
Usman Conte is the chairman, Levuma Network for Peace and Development. He said the cleaning exercise is to get the environment clean to prevent diseases and flooding.
Well, one, basically, we can get flooding where they happen in for every rainy season. They happen 2-3 times per year, each season, each rainy season. So we decided this year, let this thing be a thing of the past.
Environment Officer, Environment Protection Agency Bashiru Kagbu said it is mandatory for the EPA to assist communities in environment-related issues. He said they are working with various communities, especially those that are prone to disaster, to see that they realize the importance of vacating these areas. The Levuma Network for Peace and Development is a year-old organization that was established to foster peace and unity among youths in the Levuma and Poto communities. The organization has close to 100 members who unite to engage in community development exercises.
Acting Country Representative, Catholic Relief Services, Kwame Akanga, has said that the All Picking for Land project will target over 28,000 pupils in 192 schools in the Kwanadogo district. He was speaking during the handing over of equipment and a Toyota Land Cruiser vehicle worth over $60,000 to the school feeding project of the Ministry of Education. Yvette Jasko reports.
Project is part of the Catholic Relief Services capacity building support to the Ministry of Education to feed children and have a sustainable primary school education. The acting country representative of the Catholic Relief Society, Kwame Akanje, says this current support to the government is a demonstration to contribute to the capacity development of the education sector. He commends the government for implementing a nationally owned school feeding program at local community levels. He adds that 2008 CRS supported the education sector through its Food for Education program, All Picking for Land. The acting country representative notes that the recent third phase projects will provide school meals, teaching and learning materials, and furniture to roughly 28,586 pupils in 192 schools in the Kwanadogo districts. The acting country representative adds that the project falls under the President's recovery priorities designed to accelerate socio-economic development. He calls on governments should actively ensure effective implementation, intersectoral partnership, and external technical support to ensure quality delivery.
So there are a number of items that we also like to hand over to the Ministry of Education to support the school feeding program. So these are some of the assets, and it's a pleasure really to hand those over to the ministry. We hope that they will be very useful for ensuring that the needs of the school feeding directorates are met.
The chairman, National School Feeding Project, Sylvester Mill, says he was impressed with the level of support from the Catholic Relief Society. He assures them that the items will be utilized well to achieve its intended purpose. According to the Deputy Minister 1, Ministry of Education, James Molai Kamara, the support will benefit the ministry's plan under the school feeding project. The Deputy Minister describes the gesture as wonderful, noting that CRS has been supporting the government's agenda on education.
Let me assure you that we are going to make good use of them, and I think we're going to benefit from these items. Thank you.
10 heavy-duty Sino-truck vehicles to be used by credible farmer-based organizations, youth groups, and women farmer organizations in the country have arrived at Queen Elizabeth II Key Klein Town. Abdul Sam Sise has more.
The 10 trucks purchased by the Islamic Development IDB in collaboration with the government of Sierra Leone will be utilized for the transportation of farm inputs that include seed rice, vegetable, fertilizers, cassava produce, and other related output by farmers operating with Linking Farmers to Market project under the Smallholder Commercialization Program in the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, and Food Security. The project manager linking farmers to market for the Solomon Kanu told SLBC that the Islamic Development Bank and the government of Sierra Leone provided funds for the purchase of the 10 trucks, which were contracted by the Chinese Wijin Company at an initial cost of over $500,000 each. Mr. Kanu said that the trucks will be distributed to 5 operational districts of the project, linking farmers to market in Bo, Bombali, Bond, Tonkolili, and Western Rural Area District.
These vehicles are going to be used by the farmer-based organizations, by youth groups and women groups in transporting their produce from the farm to the market and from the market to the farm. You know, mind you, we are constructing feeder roads. We are also rehabilitating inland valley swamps. We are also going to construct about agricultural business centers. Or more or less, we are going to make some forms of transformation. So with all of these inputs being put in place, we thought it wise that to provide the FBOs with means of transporting, because if you have the road, you have the inland valley swamp that you will use to cultivate. Then if after harvesting, you have the road, if you don't have transportation, the problems are still not solved. That is why we are providing this transport facilities to these various groups that will be engaging themselves in agricultural production.
The project manager for the Solomon Kanu also highlighted the move by the Islamic Development Bank and the Sierra Leone government aims at complementing the agenda for prosperity with a view of enhancing farmers across the country to transport their produce. Linking Farmers to Market is a 4-year project funded by the IDB and the government of Sierra Leone, with outcomes to an improved access to agricultural inputs and agro-processing technologies by smallholder farmers, among several others. For SLBC News Freetown, Abdul Samsisi reporting.
The National Protected Area Authority has launched the wildlife display panels at the Freetown International Airport. According to the Executive Director, National Protected Area Authority, Dr. Kole Bangura, the wildlife panels will showcase wildlife in Sierra Leone and promote ecotourism in the country. How will the National Protected Area Authority conserve wildlife is the question Judith Sana put to the Executive Director, Dr. Kole Bangura.
These are animals, we take the pictures from the forest, the national parks. Some of them are the Freetown Peninsula National Park, some of them are from Motamba-Kilimi National Park, some of them are from the Kangaroo Hills, some of them from Loma Mountains, and some of them are along the sea, the mangroves, what we call the marine protected areas. This wildlife, as you can see, is very beautiful. It's showing the heritage of Sierra Leone. A lot of people don't believe we even have wildlife like this. But these pictures you see, these display panels, remind you that Sierra Leone has something, okay, for the outside world. Diversity hotspot, we have 2,000 different species of plants and 1,000.
So where do we get wildlife in Sierra Leone? What are the communities?
Well, talk about forests, you know, you find wildlife, you find everywhere, even inside Freetown, you find different types of wildlife. As we go, we will tell you about urban wildlife, certain wildlife which is associated with humans. Rats, for example, guinea ground pigs, we call them pig, all these ones, these are wildlife. They are associated with, they are in close relationship with human beings. And if you go to the Freetown Peninsula, you will see chimpanzees. As soon as you enter Takukama, you will see chimpanzees, Kungu Dam, those areas, Takuyama Stream, and monkeys, different types of monkeys. We don't have one species, we have hundreds of different types of animals. So if you go to the Freetown Peninsula, you see them. That is, if you go to Nobatu River, you enter the forest, you go to places like Kent, you know,
okay,
and so on and so forth.
Yes, Doc, NPAA, how do you intend to preserve wildlife in Sierra Leone?
Well, we have to preserve the forests in the first place, because the forests are the habitats for wildlife. Just like you and I, our habitat is the city, okay, Freetown, the city. If I take you from the city to the forest, you will not be able to survive for many days, because that's not your habitat. These animals live in the forest. For example, pygmy live in the water. You have to preserve these habitats or this forest for you to be able to maintain them. Like I said, we believe in ecotourism, and we think ecotourism will boost the economy of this country. In fact, in the future, we believe that after all the minerals are gone, mining has stopped, ecotourism will be the next generation of income generation in this country.
Right, so Doc, I just want to comment quickly, looking at the human activities in the forest, right? So how do you intend to achieve what you are saying?
Well, we have to educate the public in the first place to ensure that they preserve the forest. And also, we do that in many ways. We also have to enforce the law to ensure that people don't just go in the forest and cut it down, okay? So we do education, we also do law enforcement, as well as we will try to start bringing in income, okay? That is, this forest will start earning, and this money will be shared between for the NPA and others, including the Ministry of Tourism, as well as the communities that...
That was the Executive Director, National Protected Area Authority, Dr. Kole Bangura. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation has organized a farewell event for the 2016 Chinese Government Scholarship Awardees. The Chinese Scholarship is an annual event provided to Sierra Leonean students to further their studies in China and is sponsored by the Chinese government. Hawana Tukonte reports.
The 2016 scholarship has been described as the highest scholarships being offered at one time to Sierra Leone. 49 students will soon leave the shores of Sierra Leone for China to pursue courses ranging from undergraduate to doctorate degree. The Charge d'Affaires of the Chinese Embassy in Sierra Leone, Wan Siming, thanked the key players like Education and Foreign Ministries for making the program a reality.
And our government is committed and dedicated
to the people-to-people exchanges. So we have sent here the Chinese doctors. We have established the Confucius Institute here, and we are offering the Chinese government's stipends.
Mr. Wang said they have contributed in building the human resource base of the country and implored the students to focus on their studies. Deputy Minister of Education too, James Molai Kamara, expressed appreciation to the Chinese government, saying they are pleased with the continued support, describing these years as unprecedented. Mr. Kamara urged them to concentrate on their studies, as education is the key to any meaningful development of a country. Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Dr. Samura Kamara, said their areas of study are relevant to the country's development. He encouraged the students to also learn about China and Sierra Leone, encouraging them to be steadfast in their studies.
We are not looking for excuses for complaints when we do that. My colleague, himself, talked about the challenges you'll be facing. But I think it's more important to look at opportunities. So if you have challenges, you transform the challenges to opportunities. So by the time you come back, you won't be like Samuel Kamara standing behind Samuel Kamara.
Dr. Kamara called on the students to return home after their studies to contribute to the development of Sierra Leone. One of the awardees commended the Chinese government for their support to education and promised to make good use of the opportunity. I wanted to counter reporting.
The Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Dr. Minkaluba, has launched a website for the Ministry of Education to help members of the public know the day-to-day running of the ministry. The website, among other things, will contain email addresses of staff of the ministry. Nasiruddin Kroma, filing this report, read by Anna Heba.
Others represented here are equally eager to provide support and help the ministry realize its vision, not merely to promote the ministry, but more importantly, to help bring about improvement in the quality of education available to Sierra Leoneans. Madam Chairperson, colleague minister, partners in education, distinguished guests, staff of the ministry, ladies and gentlemen, it now gives me the honor and pleasure to officially launch the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology Education website. I thank you all for attention.
According to the Education Ministry officials, the website should be used as an advocacy tool where the ministry with development partners will interact to develop the sector. Dr. Minkaluba informed his audience that though it may not be the first government website, but he is rather convinced that it will be the most visited, used, and ultimately the best of all national websites. Education, he says, is a priority to all Sierra Leoneans, and that accurate and current information on education will be accessible to all compatible mobile phones, tablets, or laptops, and network access in any part of the country. The minister notes that the use of the website does not stop with the provision of information. He adds that they intend to use the website to direct visitors to other websites and platforms for teaching and learning materials, and recordings are being prepared that can be accessed from the website. The website is to be operated in the ministry under the ICT units, and it will be interactive, allows for uploading and downloads larger files, supports mailing facility with unlimited accounts, among other functions.
What we need to do collectively is make this website a success. We need to obviously put as much information and as much data up there as we can, so that we've all got access to some of the key documents and some of the key things and some of the key information that's out there. I just want to finally congratulate the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology for yet another key milestone that they're delivering under His Excellency the President's Recovery Plan. Again, this is a very, very important development.
He acknowledges the support of DFID, World Bank and UNICEF for technical and financial support, with the promise of additional support for improvement and to keep the website functioning. The Minister of Youth Affairs, Bai Mahmoud Bangura, thanks the ministry and its partners for providing an education website that will benefit mostly young people in the education sector. Similar sentiments were expressed by the Minister of Sports, Ahmed Kanu.
To end the news, the main points again. A two-day training on the role of the security sector in the prevention and management of global health crisis has ended at the Bintumani Hotel in Freetown.
Senior Vice President, Worldwide Manufacturing and New Business Development has paid courtesy call on President Anis Bankora.
A Sierra Leonean living in the United States, Arun Rashidin, has donated a consignment of assorted textbooks to the Mass Communication Department of Rabe College.
And Deputy Minister of Works, Housing and Infrastructure has condemned the construction of houses along water and drainage facilities.
That's all in this edition of the News Hour broadcast live on SLBC. On behalf of our news editor, Sheku Somalia, I'm Zoe Hamilton.
And I'm David Patrick Kamara. For more information about the program, send us an email to contact us at slbc.sl. Good night.